So the first thing I have learned, this is a squeaky chair. Sorry, cut. What? I have had a crazy few weeks, crazy, and I wanted to tell you what I've learned from it. You would never guess what happened to me. My camera gear got stolen. My camera gear, my studio equipment, snatched, gone, stolen. And I want to tell you what I've learned from having my camera gear stolen. I have 5 things that I've learned that I want to tell you and help you to, maybe not have it happen to you, or if it does happen to you, how to go make that process easier on you and, come out with the best outcome. So keep watching, stay tuned, because you're not going to want to miss this. The first thing I've learned, and this is so obvious, don't come after me. I was sick. I had 103 temperature and I wasn't thinking straight. Don't leave your camera gear in the car. And if you do, lock the door. Again, I was sick. I've learned my lesson. I will always lock my door from here on out. But first thing I've learned, lock your door. Don't leave your camera gear in the car. That asshat. Can you say asshat on YouTube? But that asshat took everything I use for in studio. I do portrait sessions both in my studio. I'm in my studio right now, and on location. So that's just a fancy way of saying outside somewhere. And destination shoots, which is a fancy way of saying I travel. He took everything that I use for my in studio, because I was supposed to hold just in studio portraits that day. So I left all of my on location or all my outside gear that I use at home, thankfully. And that is what I'm coming up with. The second thing I learned, how important it is to have backup cameras, backup gear. Thankfully, that day, I only needed 1 camera and 1 lens for the type of portrait session I was holding. I was just doing an in-studio portrait session, and I only needed my 24-70. So I only had 1 camera and 1 lens. Thankfully, I left my other camera and the lens I primarily use for outside portraits, my 70-200, at home. Because of that, I at least had something, and I wasn't completely dead in the water. I could have the next day kept my portrait session. So backup gear. I just realized I've always had backup gear, but never for theft. It was always for if something broke in the middle of a portrait session. I know I don't do weddings, but if you were to do weddings, I feel backup gear is incredibly important. But that just sealed the deal, how important I feel backup gear is if you're a portrait photographer. The third thing I've learned is from having my camera gear stolen is how important it is to keep your proof of purchase. If I didn't have a proof of purchase, my insurance wouldn't have helped me. For proof of purchase, you could use a receipt, or if you buy it online, you could look up your online purchase. Even a box, the box that came in is a proof of purchase. And thankfully, they also use pictures of you using your equipment. Proof of purchase. So my insurance did. So proof of purchase. I had no idea how important to keep your proof of purchase. I had my camera for years. I think 5 years. 1 was newer, so maybe not 5. I think the one that got stolen was my newer one, but my older one I've had for 5 years. And I had no idea that I needed to keep the boxes and all of that to prove that I bought it to my insurance. So third thing I learned, proof of purchase. All right, the fourth thing I've learned is serial numbers. Keep the serial numbers of your equipment. When your equipment gets stolen, and if your equipment gets pawned or sold to a used gear store or a shop or anything like that, if you have your serial numbers, it will pop up as stolen and you'll get your gear back, or help steal or help get the bad guy, right? So serial numbers. It's because of the serial numbers, my camera helped find the bad guy. They pawned my camera off, and they have beautiful video of this guy, and they know who you are, and they have a warrant out for your arrest. They're coming to get you, buddy. Thanks to serial numbers. The last and most important insurance. I'm not talking about house insurance or car insurance. I'm talking about a policy just for your business and just for your cameras. I thankfully listened to the advice to make sure that you are insured. My camera gear is insured, my studio is insured, all is insured. There was an accident in my studio, like I am insured. And that saved my butt. Can you say butt on YouTube? I think I can say butt on YouTube. It saved my butt. Thankfully, I had insurance and they were the hero of this story. Let me tell you about that. My insurance, Hiscox. They are not a paid advertiser on my channel. I don't have a paid advertiser. I'm YouTubing for free. I'm YouTubing for free. Nobody is paying, but Hiscox was amazing. I noticed my camera gear was stolen on Tuesday and they took everything I needed for an in-studio portrait session. Camera, lens, batteries, SD cards, mics, I already said batteries, but other kinds of batteries, things to attach my tripod to my camera, everything. They took my camera bag and like shook it out. It was empty. They left me with nothing. So I did have to pay for some of those things. But it was Tuesday and I had to shoot on Friday. My client was coming in from California and there was just no rescheduling this shoot. I will say that if my insurance did not save the day, I would have been fine. I would have rented a lens. I would have, I have lots and lots and lots of photography friends. I had multiple of them reach out to me and say I could borrow their equipment. So I would have been okay. However, my insurance, Hiscox, had my new camera gear, my replaced camera gear in my hands within 24 hours. It was amazing. So let me tell you about what I used to have and now what it got replaced with. So my Canon 5D Mark III with my 24-70 lens is what was stolen. And I loved her. I knew her in and out. I had her white balanced to my studio perfectly. I had her dialed in. I knew her better than the back of my hand. I knew exactly how to push her buttons. I loved her. They replaced her with, because they no longer make DSLRs. They've stopped making DSLRs and they're going straight mirrorless. What they replaced her with was a Canon R5 Mark II. I have only used this camera for 3 shoots, 3 portrait sessions. I'm still learning how to use her. I'm transitioning. I've never used a mirrorless before. I've always, been a DSLR. And so it's been a transition. However, after I get some more portrait sessions using her under my belt, I will tell you my review on what I think about the R5 Mark II coming from photographing with my DSLR. So watch out for that video. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts because I'm not paid by nobody. I'm not paid. Canon's not telling me, I'll give you $1,000 if you say you like the RF Mark II. I'm going to give you my honest review after I use her for about a month or so and learn how to push her buttons. I already have things I miss about my 5D Mark III, and I have things that I love from the R5 Mark II. So I'm excited about that. Keep out for that video, and I hope this video helped you. So make sure, 1, don't leave your equipment in the car, and if you do, lock the door. 2, have a backup equipment. 3, proof of purchase. 4, serial numbers. 5, insurance. Do these 5 things, then you will be untouchable to any thief that tries to ruin your day and take your precious camera equipment that you had a bond with. It's okay. She's in a better place. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on fun videos that I have planned coming out in the future. Did it, I did it, by myself, I did it,